All right, welcome, everyone. This is that day, the final or season finale of the Chart Against Humanity #1 work in progress live stream. We've been doing this series since about January, and like all good things, they must come to an end. So this is that show. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Mark. I'm here with Nat and
Hi.
Cam, and we're here to have some fun. One for the road. That's what we're doing. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Here taking my meeting from the road. Well, a
Yeah.
different location, I should say.
Ah, on location. All
Yes.
right. Glad to have you with us.
Live
Also
on.
with us in the chat is Anime Spot Barbados. Shout out Anime Spot.
Hi, guys.
Hey, I think I'm doing good.
So,
I had a fairly rigorous morning at beach training, and I can't move my legs now because of that. But
Oh my.
they're still attached, right?
yes, they are.
All right. Well, I mean, hopefully you'll regain some life in those legs. Um,
Godspeed, sir.
my condolences on the beach training. What are you training for?
Huh?
What are you training for?
What am I training for?
Yeah.
A zaddy.
Okay. All right. Goals. Goals. All right. So,
Should not be
uh,
able to ask questions.
yeah, no question for Cam. All right. So, if you're watching us live or in the future from your time machine, welcome to this. I think this is the ninth episode. Yeah. In this series, we're going to be basically taking a look back at the project to this point, give you guys some updates as well as to where things are, and we're going to go from there. Um, yeah, that's it. So, talking about the project at this point, let's see where are we at production. So, well, the script is done, the script is edited. Shout out to Claire again, Comics Scope UK, who did the editing for that. Uh, the lettering is done. At least all of it is laid out. Um, where is it for you, Natalie? Art ways.
We
Did
can't hear
you
you.
use Natalie?
You have it
Yeah,
on mute.
sorry. We're about two-thirds of the way line-wise. Still have a bit more to finish up, but things are mostly laid out and planned for. So we should be steamrolling ahead through those in the weeks to come.
All right.
Yes.
Approaching the end game, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Colorways, Cam, where we at?
I started coloring some of her work. I'm actually coloring some right now. But what I plan to do, because things didn't go how I had planned in terms of getting like leave and stuff. So I think I'm gonna spend most of this week just focusing on coloring like after work. And I should be up to speed. I should be up to where she is in like a few days or so, hopefully.
All right. Sounding good. So, for those of you who have been supporting this project uh, by being here, by watching these episodes, and on Ko-Fi, particularly for you on Ko-Fi, we're going to be closing the Ko-Fi by the end of, what is this, May? Uh, yeah, in line with essentially coming to the end of production. So if you still want to support, you still got a little time, about 10 days, 11 days, 11 days. Yeah, from today's date. If you still want to chip in and support us on Ko-Fi. The link is going to be in the show notes for this show. And yeah, and we'll be on our social media, Instagram. Check out the link in our bio, and you can support us there as well. Again, for those of you who are watching live, feel free to throw your comments, throw your questions, anything you want to know about the production of this original comic book series. You can let us know. All that stuff you can throw into the comments live. Where are we next? So, next big question, I guess, would be when will the book be released and in what format? Today is May 20th. So we're looking at a crowdfunder campaign that will launch in about 6 weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So second last week of June is what we're looking at for that. That's going to be a pretty cool crowdfunder as well, because you will be getting not just one book, not just C.H.A.R Against Humanity #1, but you will be getting about 5 other books as well, all by amazing Caribbean comic book creators as part of the Alluhwi Comics first wave crowdfunding campaign. So stay tuned for us on our social media. Main one is Instagram at Alluhwi Comics, and we'll be dropping details about that crowdfunder campaign, which platform is going to be on, what sort of perks or rewards you'll be getting there over the coming weeks. So you can check that out. In terms of formats, we'll be looking at high quality digital format. You can also get it on the Alluhwi Comics platform as well, and as part of your subscription, and you'll be getting it in print as well. So you need to go for that. Right, moving things along smoothly. So with this being the last episode, let's take a bit of a look back, a retrospective on the project at this point. So Natalie, what have been the high points and low points of this project to this point for you?
High points would definitely have to be getting this kind of really in-depth firsthand experience of deep character design. Like I love drawing people and creating characters and stuff, but usually it doesn't go much further beyond me doing a nice little portrait, or I don't know, maybe a bit more of an in-depth illustration with a short story in my head, as opposed to actually going through, piecing through a scene in sequence. So at the time that I picked up this project, I was doing a lot of painting, like actual canvas painting. So it was really nice getting back into drawing in a more cartoon kind of way, getting back in touch with creating like nice lively expressions, and yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed that. Low points would, my only critique, if you could call it that, would be I did not expect life to be lifing the way that life lifed this quarter. So some of the initial workflow plans that I had got derailed. But life gonna life and throw you lemons, so ain't really much you could do about that. So
You got lemons, I got rocks.
you got rocks. Oh Lord. Oh honey, no.
So apparently, Cam, it's not just me. Your audio, shout out to Resident 76. For him, it's coming in a bit low.
Hi, Resident.
That's usually the thing. So let me switch out.
All right. So we'll give Cam a few seconds to switch his audio. Shout out to Resident 76 for being here with us live. Thank you very much, sir. Glad to have you here. So high points. For me, seeing it literally coming together. Going from
Can you hear that?
Some a little craggly.
yeah, you sound a little crackly. Yeah, a little crackly.
I was just like toss these headphones.
I can sort of cover everything.
Oh no.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
In
You
and
still
out.
sound a little
Yes.
low, but that might just be me.
All right. So, is this better or is the previous headphone better?
You stuck there for a bit. Try again.
Is this better or the previous headphones?
I think this is a little better, a little crackly, but a little
Louder.
louder.
Yeah. All right. Give me 1 second.
All right. Let me see. So high point, seeing it all come together, seeing the art for the first time, particularly the transition from like sketches to inks. That was really cool. This is the first project I would have been lettering entirely, so that's definitely a high point for me as well. Uh, it's lettering has been fun. I definitely feel like there's another opportunity for me to be involved in the creative process instead of simply just like writing a script and you know that's it.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
You got to
Uh,
express your creative side.
yeah, including the whole freaking out manic episodes of I don't like this. This is horrible. I hate it, and they come back like a day later, like, huh, it's not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark doesn't think he's a creative people. We tell him
No,
that,
no,
like,
I don't think
writing.
I'm an artist. Yeah.
But you are.
No.
There's literary arts. Literally, it's called literary arts. Which means
Yeah.
you got an artist brain there going.
And that artist brain is full of holes.
Yeah, I think they usually are.
Let me see. The low points. Patience, man. Is like you're looking. It's like watching like a delicious cake baking, and it just feels like no matter how you look at it, it's taking a while, and you just want to eat it, but it ain't done yet.
Yeah.
And then when it done, you still gotta wait for it to cool. It's like
Mhm.
that. That kind of energy. Uh,
Sorry, I can't bake any faster for you.
it looking tasty though, so if you
Looking
can keep with
tasty.
the cake metaphors. But yeah, other than that, I am very happy with where you think with the way things are going, and I am really looking forward to like the you guys out there, the public, the fans, to get a hands on it and read it, and hopefully they enjoy it as least or as much as we had making it. I swear, I haven't been drinking. That's Natalie.
Natalie is making you sound.
I'm
Sorry?
having a dry evening.
Really? Oh, no more vicarious living. What about you, Cam? High point, low points for this project to this point?
Um, I'm not really sure I have low points as yet because I haven't been that thorough into the coloring. I think the lowest point for me is having a plan to color and having to set a schedule, and then things outside of my control like just totally derailed all of that, and me having to reschedule everything because I feel like I would been like I feel like if I had been able to start when I wanted to start, um, I would probably be up to where Natalie is in terms of her line art, in terms of the coloring. But because of what happened Started late, so no catching up and stuff. But I think I have enjoyed the high points have been the podcast, actually talking to you and getting
Mhm.
input from
Aw.
the members and stuff. So that has been good. That has actually been the best, one of the best parts of the whole experience. The shit talk that we do every now and again is chef kiss worthy. So that's why I like about us. Working
You
with
you said it, not me. I was gonna say Cam enjoying the shit posting and stuff in the groups and the
Yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah. The banter,
love
the
it.
banter. Natalie dropped
like
a
this.
savage one this week, boy. Woo.
I mean, you still need to go back to that class.
Oh, hey, no, hey, no,
Yes,
no, I
do
don't.
it,
That's scary.
do it.
The hunger, the
You
hunger in
gotta
their
make
little
my back me
eyes.
up here.
I think we
Nah,
should.
I will
One
not bow to
must
peer pressure. Ooh.
one must confront one's fears. One must confront one's fears in
You
order
You
know,
don't
to.
have to, you
ready
know.
to grow.
You
Is
should,
this
yes, in order to grow.
is this sage wisdom from Cam? Sage advice
It
from
is. It
Set
is.
that stage on fire. Purple sage.
Oh no.
But then its purpose would be complete.
You're right. I can't argue that point. So we can move on. Let me see.
Namaste.
So looking back, guys, what would you do differently? What do you know now that you wish you had known earlier?
Mm,
The scale of the task.
yes.
The skill
That is
that.
there.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, I would have. It's really weird because, like, I want to say I would have read the script more thoroughly. Because it's not that I didn't read the script, but there's like different layers to me reading the script to kind of plan out the scenes. I kind of underestimated some of the detail that would be needed because I'm not typically electronics and mech kind of artist. I read the scenes, I read what the people's faces were doing, what they were doing, and I was like, oh cool, so he shot, he gained blow away, oh he whatever. But then it's like he's shot sitting at a desk behind multiple screens and it's like, oh, and then you gotta make the screens look good. Screen, you can't just put a little rectangle there. It gotta be a believable screen, and that's the thing too. I am dedicated, so I don't want to half-ass anything. So it's gonna be a good-looking screen. It needs to be sellable. I'm not like I just put a rectangle there and say, "Oh, that's a screen." So those little mini things, I kind of overlooked those. So I would get the general scene, get the sketches done, and then I would come to the line art and be like, "All right, that's cool, easy, drop in. This needs more detail." Some more. Add a little more. Okay, good.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a interesting perspective for me. Uh, as a writer, clearly I would have written things, but it's understanding that for the artists, there are different layers, I guess, stacked for
Yeah.
you that you got to translate.
Yeah. Because you would say weird electronics lab. And that's like, that could drop a very clear mental picture for people if you're just reading it like a book. But then when you go to draw that, it's like, okay, you draw the room. And then there are all these little elements in it that you have to create to make it a believable, slightly cluttered workspace, a believable workspace. So it's not sanitary and all that kind of stuff. Those were the little areas where I was like, huh, okay, I have to think a bit harder about how I'm going to lay out things and what to add.
Okay. For
Not
you
a
can
complaint,
be
just an observation. Yeah.
observation. So for you, Cam, it was the scope of it. It didn't seem quite as expansive.
Not. I did not think. Yeah, it didn't seem that expensive to me until like I started sitting out and listening to what Natalie was doing as an artist, as the illustrator, and oh, we need to do this, and oh, I need to do this, I need to do X, Y, Z, and oh, well, when I'm reading this, because when we originally talked it out with me and you and Char, talking it out, talking it out, and it being like a because originally it was supposed to be a webcomic.
Mhm.
And for me, like webcomics are a lot more simple.
Mm.
That that there's that one Sarah's something. I'm not sure if you know it, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Webcomics are generally a lot more simple, and there's usually just the foreground, and there's hardly ever any background really, unless the artist puts a lot of effort into it. And those really aren't done like on a weekly basis, sort of thing. So that's what I was thinking originally. Like you have a lot of because most of what the story would be based around the story and the interactions between the characters, and not necessarily Natalie having to paint atmospheres and landscapes
locations
and
and
stuff
stuff.
like that. Right.
Mhm.
So then, like as a colorist, I'm like, oh, I just got to color like a few characters and add some lighting and stuff. And then like it only hit me when I was doing the thing live, the coloring live, when he was in the lab. I was like, huh, this is gonna be a lot of work if I'm in a lab because
There's
I
a
gotta
lot of
make sure there's a lot of lab. And then what about when the guys come to shut C.H.A.R down? And what about when like they're in court? Like I gotta paint like the whole background with the jury and they got a jury. Like is there a jury? Do I have to paint the jury? Or the camera's just gonna be focused on the lawyers and like the judge? Is she gonna do a pan out sort of thing? Like all of those started playing in my head. I was like, so yeah.
Oh no.
Did you have on a scale of like 1 to 5, with one being least, 5 being most? Did you have a lot of leeway art ways in terms of figuring out how to set the scene? And if so, was that intimidating for you,
This is
Natalie?
Natalie.
Um, it was a mixture. So like some things were you had a very clear cut like how you wanted him positioned or something like that, and then based on maybe prior pages, you know what the background is supposed to look like. But then, for instance, you also like left it pretty vague, which is good. Where you said like weird science lab, large auditorium, um, the big steel doors, like key elements. But then it's like, what do you fill that space with? And you just figure it out, and make sure it looks good, it looks believable. So it depended on what specifically the script said in certain areas. But I don't dislike it. It was just a blended approach to how much
New
direction.
new and different.
Yeah.
The other thing for me is like I'm used to coloring illustrations, so it's just like one thing. Like you do one thing and you're done. Much in terms of how Natalie does pieces. So you do
Mhm.
one piece and it's done. Like this is the first time I've colored sequential stuff, so that is new for me as well. Because it's not like okay, I could push for 4 hours today and then I do this thing and I'm good. I'm done. I can post it. You still have like a whole set of other pages to color next day if you choose to, or the day after that. So you have to also manage your what is it called, your spoons, your bandwidth, whatever.
Oh.
Your bandwidth. You have to measure your energy levels as well.
Okay. Question
Uh,
from Resident 76. Don't you guys use reference pictures?
Yes, I do. I don't know if you were here from if the first stream or two with my char references, and yeah, that was a whole heap of fun. Yeah,
Sorry.
you do use references, but how to word this. It's like if the script is vague enough, then it's up to you now to cycle through a bunch of different reference pictures, say for screen. Like Mark said, futuristic screen. He's like, okay, what does a futuristic screen look like? And then you'll see some that might be an odd shape, some that are really sleek, some that's like a projected hologram kind of thing, and you have to decide then what you want to use. So it's not as easy as just, oh, pull up a direct reference for this, and then I could just draw that out.
Just get lost on Pinterest, sorry. Yeah, I get.
This is an inside joke that I don't know about.
No, it's not an inside joke. It's an inside joke for me. Like I am before I used to call it Pinterest, and everyone used to laugh at me.
Oh.
So it just slipped just now. Like I was telling someone about someone was having trouble the other day with Facebook and logging in or creating a Facebook, and somehow I let slip the Facebook, and then they told me I was old because they said the Facebook. I didn't even realize they said the Facebook. So I just
Yeah, that stage of getting caught up.
Getting caught up indeed.
Yeah,
so
you start to feel it in your knees, and then everything is just cool.
Oh, please.
It's just getting
rough. So yeah, so the question of references, if you want, jump back to like episode 1 or 2, where Natalie talks about the very specific references she went looking for. But I'm not gonna do that up. No. You can slid and come on. But that was fun. And Natalie very much is dedicated to using references. The server wrap, yeah, that's one example. Well, yeah, so definitely references used for that. Even like, so right now Natalie's working on the cover, and let me see if I can throw up some stuff about where that is. But first, what do you do? It was literally just here. Oh, there we go. Is that it? Yes. Some references, and it loads. No. There we go. All right. So this is a couple of different things. So one, you got permission from the fine folks at the Tom Adams Financial Center. Yeah, that's the actual name. I still think about the central bank. To go up on their roof and take a shot of Bridgetown from the central bank. So for those of you who aren't from Barbados, the central bank is the tallest building in the country at something like 50 meters. I don't remember how many feet that is. So let's Google that. But yeah, 50 meters. So you get a nice, good panoramic view of a good chunk of the country. So definitely Bridgetown, the entire Bridgetown area. You can see parts of the South Coast. You can look north and east. Pretty, scenic. It's just that it's the central bank, so security is quite diligent, right? But anyway, we got this reference photo of Bridgetown. So where's that cursor? There we go. So this, if you can see that cursor, is actually the Parliament building. And you can see Browns Beach and the Carina, or the wharf over there. So for this, the main character C.H.A.R is going to be standing essentially up on the central bank looking over what is going to be a kind of near future version of Barbados. So, hey, tell us, Natalie, about the kind of ideas that you're working with for this near future Barbados, near future Bridgetown.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so one of the first things that we noticed when we got this picture was Tom looking a little pop down. Not gonna lie. No,
Wow.
no hate to Bim. Love
Yeah,
the
that's what she
country.
said.
Love our home, but
You get
it was,
deported.
was looking a little drab. Wait, me. We all know it's true. So Mark wanted a futuristic brothers. He asked for some taller buildings, not full on skyscrapers. Some nice glass and little sleek buildings. So the random like blocks are some areas where you want to put in some more modern buildings. And gonna have to do some more searching for references to find like some nice looking skyscraper designs to put in there. Nothing too fancy, but I don't really know what skyscrapers look like. So again, references are needed. And preserving some of the more iconic areas, so like the Parliament Building. I have to do that one in the back, the clock tower, because I think that's pretty iconic too. I had the bridge in the back. Do you still call it the swing bridge, even though it lifts now?
Yes. Yep. Does
And
it look? It still doesn't swing?
no,
It does. Well, it doesn't
It
swing.
lifts.
I think it raises.
Yeah, it lifts now.
Okay.
Yeah. And they haven't opened that in, I actually don't know how often that gets open. But
But the
anyway,
last time that opened is when they throw the concert for Rihanna, I think.
you sure? I feel like boats actually pass through, so they open it sometimes, but I don't know how
Yeah.
often it is. Because I was in town a day that it opened. There was a big fancy sailboat that was coming in. You had to stand up and wait while they moved the bridge so they could come in before you could go about your business in town. But anyhow, yeah. So keeping the iconic buildings and adding in some more modern stuff. Um, I was advised to put in some green spaces and save myself the headache of the drudgery of drawing a whole city. So
You're welcome.
they'll have some of those in there. But yeah, that's what I've been chugging away on for the last like 2 weeks. I was telling them how much detail goes into drawing a cityscape, where you zoom in on something and you feel like all this detail and you feel like, yeah, I put on a good chunk of work, and then you zoom back out and realize you're still in the corner of the page and you just press under your breath. So it's been fun, but slow picking because of how much detail it is. But I like it. Personally, I will be proud when it is finished, because this whole project is just like a giant challenge for me. What kind of things I can draw. Because you tend to get pretty stuck into what you're accustomed drawing, and you say somebody would ask you something, you be like, I can't draw that. So, but can you though? So this is a giant. But can you though? As you can, you feel good. Like, yay!
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
All right. So we've got a couple new people joining the chat. Adriel, Aline. Thanks,
Hey,
Adriel.
Adriel.
Glad to have you here. Alejandro, am I saying that right? I hope I'm saying that right. And more. Show it to you as well. Thanks for being here. Adriel had a question about C.H.A.R. I hope it's about C.H.A.R. and not about real life. What is the year?
It's 2023.
Honestly, there isn't like a set year. So it's kind of like if you ever seen the FX animated show Archer. Archer, if you watch Archer, it gives you like vibes from like modern sort of like computers and cell phones and stuff, but still this kind of like retro 60s, 70s vibe, that kind of thing. So for C.H.A.R, we're just working with near future, and yeah, that's it. I haven't nailed down like particular date for this, like 2040 or whatever. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. For me,
2015.
Alejandro is saying 2015. All right. No, close-ish. Close-ish. Yeah. So we've got. Let me see. So for me, when I'm thinking like a futuristic Barbados, I've always thought a monorail would be cool. Um, so whenever I'm thinking that's one of the elements that comes to mind for me. What about the rest of you, both of you, in terms of Cam and Ali, in terms of all of you in the chat? If you're from Barbados, what do you think? What elements come to mind when you think futuristic Barbados? You can drop those in the chat. Let us know. What about you, Cam? Futuristic Barbados. What comes to mind?
That's a good question. Like I have so many things flooding in my mind right now. So like if it is like a futuristic Barbados, we're like a prosperous nation and stuff. I would like to see I would expect to see taller buildings. So I guess I would want it to look something like how Singapore looks like aesthetically, or like one of those Gulf nation states would have like just these really tall buildings because you don't have a lot of land, so you build up. Or then you have like a lot of what's called it reclamation of the land, so you build up into the sea and stuff. That's what I would like to see, and a lot of clean energy, usage. So a lot more solar panels, a lot more greenery, like all those futuristic designs you see with buildings with trees and stuff like that. And then because we don't have like a lot of land to grow stuff, and I think we should be growing our own produce. We'll have like our
Rooftop
agriculture
gardens.
we be building up. Not rooftop gardens. Like you actually have like farms that are built vertically and stuff like that for plant material or plant material. Unless they could do it for the animals, I guess you could build a skyscraper chicken coop because I mean that's all you really. Chicken like that, like like a skyscraper chicken coop, a skyscraper one for like for sheep. I guess pork for pigs. Like, I guess maybe that's something that I will like. Is like
you don't want to be raining pigs, buddy. Pigs freak out and jump through windows. Nah.
Why would they jump through the window? Be like they're like. I think like right now they're just usually in like this is the whole. They're not free range pigs. They just be like like a thing, and they just get food fed to them, and they just stand up and eat and drink, and that is like their entire life. So
I don't know why they thought of free range pigs tickled me so much. just imagining that.
They're hungry?
They're probably happier because they get to run around in mud and stuff, probably.
Yeah.
But yes, and then I guess we see a lot more boats and stuff because we driving around the island by boats. I guess a monorail would be cool. Maybe it got a subway as well. I feel like it got a subway because our Earth is porous, so it should be easy to construct. Yeah.
I don't know if a subway would work. I feel like Barbados aren't that deep.
We not and limestone I don't think would be very good building stratifier thing because it kind of brittle. We prone to cave-ins and stuff, so you make it a cave and then there's like constant vibrations running through it. So that doesn't sound like a good idea.
I will stay with the monorail for now then.
I have a friend who's like obsessed with Barbados eventually having trains again. I don't know how likely that is. He was like, just give up some land, and build me a train. It'll be good. I'm like, really? Sure.
So let's see.
You have a train from the top straight down to the bottom, and it just goes in the loop that way.
I don't know.
And then you get off. At various stops. You can get Z.R, parish, stuff like that.
Exactly. Yep. Adriel is saying, yeah, monorails look cool. Alejandro is saying, no AC on the outside of the buildings. Also, wave energy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wave energy would be great, especially if you can set it up on like the East Coast, so you got like a lot of that retail energy coming uninterrupted from the coast of Africa, west coast of Africa. Um, that would definitely be cool. So yeah, wave energy is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Adriel is saying sea barriers for sea level rise.
Hmm.
That is real,
It has
especially
to
with
be
climate
globally.
change. I mean, Barbados is definitely one of those countries that would be at risk of sea levels rising. So yeah, sea walls, sea barriers. I think I remember like back in school learning that there was a bit of actual reclamation for Bridgetown. So where the uh, Fairchild Street bus stand, I think it was something else.
Not
But
Pelican
anyway,
Village.
I think Pelican Village as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there were definite parts of Bridgetown where the Dutch actually came and helped figure out the technical sides of reclaiming that land. So for sure, the Fairchild Street bus stand has pillars sunk straight into the seabed. Um, there's a bunch of reclamation happening where Pelican Craft Village is now. So if you ever took a cruise up the west coast, you will see these little weird concrete tees or whatever weird shit they are piled
Yeah.
up on the shoreline. Yeah, a bunch of that stuff was done to kind of get more land back from the sea in that same harbor industrial park and Pelican Craft Village area. So
Mm.
I mean we've done it before. And shout out to Alan Lynch. He did a book a few years ago, Life and Death in Paradise, where he
Yes.
uh, visualized having actual islands off the west coast. So I think it was
That
like
were
three.
that were casinos. There were casinos.
Yeah, the
Uh,
like the new Sandy Lane, pretty much. These little islands off the west coast. So
we on
that's
that
also a pretty cool
Dubai.
idea.
We'd be on that Dubai level of construction. The Palm Islands.
Yeah,
Yep. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. Because I read those books and I did review my other book actually. That was a good series.
let's
Yeah.
see. Bicycle tracks. Dedicated. Yeah,
Bicycle.
April, you're right. That might sound like kind of simple, but dedicated bike lanes would be amazing. And like for me with C.H.A.R, the like right now all the places you're seeing that are like roadways, I think it'd be cool if those were like footpaths or pedestrian paths with greenery, like little parks and stuff. Um, if it were up to me, Barbados would have a monorail. Bridgetown would be pedestrian traffic only. Um, and cool stuff like that. Hopefully we get to see it in our lifetimes, that kind of thing. Uh,
Pedestrian traffic.
huh. Solar punk, I said it. Um, I think solar punk would actually be like kind of cool, kind of relevant for us in Barbados, um, for sure. Yeah. So Alejandro, the name of the book I'm talking about, by Nigel Lynch, um, various artists. I think one of them may have, yeah, Matthew Clark as well.
Was my
Matthew was on at least one or two issues. Um, and the book is called Life and Death in Paradise. Yeah, that's what it's called. Um,
You can tell which ones Matthew was the artist because of how he draws his vehicles. They look like he copied and pasted them out of real life. They, there was this one scene with a cop SUV, a cop SUV, and it looked like he literally took a picture of of an SUV and put it in the thing. It was so his His attention to detail was so good.
Matthew's got crazy art skills. So yeah. I didn't know that. A lot of people use boats here in the north of the island.
Okay.
Did not know that.
Yeah, same.
Then again, I don't spend a lot of time north. For a country as honestly small as Barbados, the north and southeast of the country, to me, I'm one of those people, seems super far away. I
Oh,
feel like I need to
no.
get my passport stamped. Like being legit. It does feel so distant. But yeah, that's cool to know that people are using a lot of boats. And I think definitely verticality is going to play a part um, in the common sense approach to developing Barbados. So like the towers out there in Bay Street, I think you're going to see more of those. People are living, vertically.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we don't get to the crazy stage of like Japan, where people are living in closets pretty much as their apartment. That's nuts.
Like Japan, there's another place, Hong Kong.
Yeah, people are living. I mean, here that kind of stuff in New York as well. Not as bad. I've seen some documentaries of like tiny living in Japan, and it is wild. Wow. Yeah, Adriel's in the same boat. He's saying North's really far from me. Haven't been over there since last year. LOL. It's true. And not
Sounds like a grand adventure.
especially with the way that gas prices seem to be just going up and up and up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got more thoughts. So, guys, what do you like about this project and why?
What do I like the characters. Oh, why do I like the characters? Because I helped create half of them, and they're all. That's not.
If you're hearing the
Forgive
canned
my
laughter, Natalie's actually recording from the set of Seinfeld Barbados, clearly.
I thought like my horror cackle was bad, but that's top tier.
That's a fish market horror cackle, buddy.
You fam. That is
your friends.
I don't know what he's laughing at, but it has to be hilarious.
It has to be hilarious.
Has to be. Yeah.
So, characters for you, I mean, you had a hand in pretty much all of them, in bringing them together. So, you like the characters? Was it for you, Natalie? What do you like about the project and why?
It would have to be the characters as well, but like I coming at it from, I'm almost like a reader. Well, I'm the first reader because you guys created it. Yeah, you guys created it, but I didn't really have any hand in the actual story creation. Say hi, girl. I'm sorry. So I'm now getting to meet the characters and read about what they're doing. So it's fun for me coming at it as a reader and then having to translate that. So that part was fun. Yeah.
So I mean, like that's actually interesting. You are the first reader, the first person to have read it, and reading a script is different from reading the comic or reading prose fiction. But so that experience for you, the reading of it, what was that like?
It was interesting because I'm not gonna lie, this might not have been a genre I would have jumped into. Willingly sounds like I was forced. It's not like something that I would have gone looking to read.
Okay.
Let me say it like that. But I was reading through the script, and it was so funny, and I was just getting like these very vivid mental images because that's how I am when I read things. vivid mental images of like the characters and what they're doing and what their faces are like. And Dr. Bruggeman was just like my imagination having a field day because this man is just so wild in the best way, you know. And then his like kookiness with C.H.A.R.'s matter of factness. Am I to call you mother? You can call me whatever you want. I was just imagining what his face was and mother. Call me whatever you want. So yeah, it was good to read. It was a good read.
Yeah, cool.
Can't wait to see what you do with volume 2 script.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be something else. Because like, so what I kind of liked about it is having to go back to it, and in a lot of ways going back to it vicariously through Natalie, since she would be the first person to read it, who was a part of the actual creative process, coming up with the idea and writing that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like seeing it through Natalie's eyes. But it was also the amount of time between when the script was done, and by done I mean having gone out to the editor and come back and having those changes made, and then actually when production would have started. We've lost Natalie. No.
I'll be back.
So
There we go.
it was in a lot of ways kind of seeing it almost like for the first time. Again, a different appreciation for it. Lettering in it for me was an experience because it gave me a different perspective on writing, particularly writing dialogue. Because when you're making a comic, you only have so much space. So in the book, if you want to have a description of like a day that runs 3 pages, that's at you. If you want to have a conversation that spans 10 pages in a novel, again, that's at you. But with a comic, you've got to be really particular and concise with the words, so you don't like have cool art half covered by oodles and oodles of words. But figuring out like the lettering and looking at, all right, there is this much space left, like open space between these 2 characters. I can put these words here. I got to get them all fit, that kind of thing.
What about knowing when not to have dialogue and when to have dialogue? Because it's not a book where you just have to write, or it's not like just an animation where you could tell a story just through visuals. Like, I find like a comic is like a mixture of both. How did you find that in terms of knowing, well, this scene doesn't need writing, I'll let the artist or Natalie do this, compared to what I need to explain this somehow?
For me, as a writer, as the person penning the script, I try to focus on imagery first, and any kind of like text or dialogue after that. If I can write a scene description that can stand alone without any captions or dialogue, that's what I kind of aim for. But it was kind of startling to see from the perspective of lettering how sparse the writing was, because there are some pages where it's like there's no text here. Should there be text here? Oh my god, does this work? And you kind of like second guessing yourself. It's like, do they get it? I don't know. I hope they get it. And there was one sequence where C.H.A.R is kind of like waking up, kind of like becoming conscious, and I was like, Natalie did a great job visualizing this stuff, but there isn't any text on like this page. So would the audience get it? Would they understand what they're seeing? And I am I'm willing to look at the audience as being smart enough to get it than to think that they're not. That is my preference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully that's a good choice.
You're trusting, you're having faith in humanity.
Yeah, man.
I think that's
The wonderful thing about comics is comics have been around for a while, right? If you've been reading comics for a good chunk of your life, then there's a lot of shorthand that's already in your brain. I don't like reading something or watching something and the creators are treating me like a fool. It's like, here, baby, here's some mashed peas for you.
no
So
mashed peas.
Isn't there like a rule in storytelling of show don't tell? And I think it's harder to do writing something like a book where either you kind of have to tell, because like you're either describing the scene really well and dropping like, I don't want to say hints, but laying out things well enough where people could follow without your actual cast physically saying it in the text, and you have like a bunch of quotations for what the people are saying to explain the scene. For a comic, because you literally have like the visual thing there, or with movies, you could skip a whole bunch of the exposition just by having like panning around and showing you the scenery of a place. You don't have to go and say, oh, the characters trudged across the very hot desert. You know, lay out your scene really well, have your little heat shimmers and stuff, and people immediately know, this is where they are. And then you get to the more important dialogue. So
the thing for comics I'm finding is writing for comics is more challenging than it would seem. So if you're the creator and the artist, it's just about literally pulling this up out of your head and put it on a page. You don't have to put it across in a way for somebody else to understand and be engaged by it. So for me, I have a hard time drawing stick men. So I've got to explain to the illustrator, in this case Natalie, this is what I'm seeing in my head. And hopefully it makes sense. And it, inspires Natalie to draw stuff. So it's coherent, she understands what's happening, and she's like, ooh, cool, I can't wait to draw this. And that can be hard, I guess. But then still, even though comics are very visual, there's still some creators who like to throw in a whole bunch of exposition instead of doing, show not tell. And I've always kind of found that explanation a little hard. I try to think instead of what is the sensory experience here. So here's a location. Are there any smells? Are there any sounds? How do I explain smells and sounds in a visual way? Is the character feeling things? Is the character feeling hot or whatever? How do I explain that? And kind of fill the page, fill the description with those kind of sensory touch points. And hopefully that works. right.
done a good job.
Cool. Thank you. I like legit. I was freaked out about it. It's like, damn it. I hope she gets this. she she hasn't called me, so either she's gotten it or she hasn't, and she's in the background somewhere freaking out. Oh my god. So yeah. All right. So here is, I guess, shameless plug time. But honestly, I think if you're creating something, you're really passionate about it, you kind of shouldn't be ashamed about it. So, for you guys, why should anybody not involved in creating it or drawing it or whatever, why should anybody read this book?
Hmm. This is a funny tale of. Wait, you guys saw something going around about Bayesian AI?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that.
You did?
Beijing AI? That's
Yeah,
not
I
ringing a
don't.
bell.
Patsy or saying, right?
Yeah, honestly, I
I
don't
saw
even know
that.
if it's a joke or if it's real life because the whole AI thing has been so wild recently. And it's like, why are we jumping into this? I don't feel it. We don't manage local computer stuff well enough for us to be dabbling in AI. If this is real, but anyhow,
I saw it mentioned somewhere. I didn't really pay much attention to it, to be honest.
yes. So I would say to read this because it is a funny tale of the first ever Bayesian AI because it was built by a Bayesian. I know that not necessarily, but and the scope of her power versus what she's relegated to eventually is just so funny.
Okay.
And I think it's like a genius little story, to be honest. Is short enough where you don't have to like think too hard to follow. Does that make any sense? Um, but it's got some nice juicy details in there and fun banter, fun faces. If I can keep the magic going and make sure that everybody's as animated as I'm picturing in my head, I think it would be a fun read. So I would suggest people go and read.
All right. What about you, Cam? Why should people read
Why
this book?
should people read this book? I think people should read this book because it is a comedy, and I think we all need a good laugh right now.
Indeed.
I hold on a minute because my mind is a bit taken by something here I'm doing. I think that people should read this because it's a comedy. I think the characters are really well done. I think that each character gives you a very unique view of, I guess, except for the one that you named after me. But even him, they give you a very unique perspective of the world and how people view stuff. Because you have you have Kathleen, who's my favorite character, and like it tries to paint her as this dictator, but when you learn more about her, she's just really interested in protecting her nation. She's not like trying to rule the world, but it's more of like the benevolent dictator. But and that comes from how she was raised and what she saw going on. Then you have like I would call it the ignorance of C.H.A.R and what C.H.A.R feels should be happening because she probably doesn't understand politics, doesn't understand um, doesn't understand nepotism, doesn't understand racism, doesn't understand any of those things. Well, I can't say she doesn't understand racism because she chose to be a white woman because she'll have an easier time. So I guess she does understand some things. So there's that. But yeah, I think the characters themselves gives you a very satirical view of the satirical the word I want. Satirical view of the world in their own way.
Like,
I think it's a good social commentary and comedy.
Whoa.
So like South Park, but not all those.
Yeah, you gotta say something real deep though.
You just tell me shameless self plug. And when they shameless self plug, you like, God, that sound a bit deep, Cameron. I don't know if I want to build up expectations that high.
Nah, not even that. Is I am fascinated by your perspective because for me, I'm thinking, yeah, Cher is light and funny, and that that's something that has always fascinated me since I first like created something and put it with different people
what your readers get
because
out of it.
yeah, what I'm thinking about it, and the thoughts and stuff behind it, when the audience gets it, is
Totally different, or is more thing.
is different, and
Here's what though, you as a person, like you might not know it when, oh God, it's something to say it again. You might not know it when you're writing it, but like everything you write is gonna be based and influenced on your own perspective or the perspective of people that help you write it. And like even like the quirkinesses on your characters and stuff, or like your Bayesianism and stuff like that. So when people see that, like that, it doesn't have to be that, but you chose for it to be that way, either subconsciously or consciously. And then people read into that. Like I was reading, and this is like one of Matthew's books, right? We reviewed it. This is the Heart Man,
mm,
and there's a lot of iconography in the Heart Man that it, as a casual non-Barbadian reader, is just something there. But as a Barbadian reader, you will get it. So like there is the like the two of the main characters. One is a guy on the block, not interested in school at all. His girlfriend is the smart girl in school, and that's like a dynamic that plays out here. I mean, it probably plays out other places too. But
Hmm.
yeah,
it's like, oh well, I understand this, and it's like this social comment. Then people go going, oh, this is a social commentary on XYZ because yeah, yada yada yada, and then like the character of the heart man is supposed to be this undead thing that feeds off of your heart essentially, right? And like one of the way he manifests himself, like people have this generally have these fears of bugs or insects or whatever the case, creepy crawlers or whatever the case may be, right?
mhm,
Um, but in the Heartman, like how it manifests himself sometimes is like a literal army of centipedes. And for any Beijing, like if one centipede was sent a whole block of men running and scattering, like just seeing like you walking into a house in a horror and then the whole house is just moving centipedes because that's his aura or whatever. Like
mm,
that means something in like a Beijing dynamic. And only a Bayesian would understand why other Bayesians would be scared of that particular creature and not like
yeah,
ants or something. So yeah, you might think it just is cool, but it's cool for a reason. And the reason is because of how you were brought up. How you're brought up or how you change your own way of thinking compared to how you were brought up and stuff like that. So people tend to read into that as well. Like as I find as critics are of work, people see things that you may not necessarily see yourself.
it's true.
That sounded like a lot, but
Nah, I get you, man. I get you. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to. I want people to experience when they read this book. The bigger thing though is to see the book as another way of seeing Barbados, and to I was on about this. We got a Caribbean comic creator group. Um, so like I remember watching the original Independence Day movie with Will Smith and thinking throughout the entire movie, is there Barbados in this universe? And what the hell is happening? What are Bajans? Is there like a giant ship hovering over Barbados?
I hope not.
Are Barbadians freaking out? The Barbadians just don't care and going about life. What's happening? So whenever
Of course we
there are
do.
like sci-fi movies like that, that's one of the thoughts like that pop into my head. So for this, we started C.H.A.R, developing C.H.A.R early up in the pandemic. Um, and this is way before ChatGPT and all the AI conversation popped up. So please, people, don't come asking me for like lottery numbers because we didn't predict this. So it's strangely topical, but it's also like a Barbadian perspective on like AI and like tech advancements and that kind of stuff. And I want people to kind of see our perspective as Barbadians and people from the Caribbean on things like sci-fi and comedy and stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to people getting from me. All right, it's 15 after 12. Sorry,
Not 12.
12 after 5. Shh.
Ooh.
I haven't been drinking, I swear. We're almost done. We're almost done. Yeah. I think Natalie had promised drinks, but never delivered drinks for this finale episode. So, next time, Natalie.
Clearly, she's gonna bring them from wherever she is.
Will she? All right, awesome.
We just need to have faith.
Faith? I'll work on it.
I
All
can
right.
send y'all pictures.
You legit have faith in your readers, understanding what it is you are showing them and writing. Have faith.
Yeah.
They bringing drinks for you.
From her expression, that is not really like faith building. Not really faith building.
I can't even see because I don't even have the camera over here in the screen of the thing.
No, the current expression you're seeing on the screen, that's not the one that's not faith building.
That's a very like innocent, trustworthy face. What are you talking about?
You didn't see the other one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Look, she turned up the cuteness and then understand now, Holly. Cam is a cute one. All right, cool.
Oh, right. Sorry.
You gotta stay in your lane.
Alright,
Cam is a
sorry.
cute one.
I apologize, Cam.
The other thing too, like what Natalie was speaking about earlier, about how you thinking how things will look and be arranged in the scenes. Like I'm looking at I'm coloring. I'm going over the first page, and like I'm looking at it, I'm like, what are the colors for these things in here? Why would it be this color and why not this color? Right?
That's actually really interesting because it's something that because I'm not doing the colors, it's not something that I had to think about. I was just thinking of placement and elements, but then lighting and like all that sort of stuff affects the colors. So then you're like, okay, these electronic components, boo, are they thing? What time of day is it? All that sort of stuff that I didn't really have to think about.
Yep. I didn't even realize it, but I colored the keyboard on your first panel the same color as my keyboard that I have in real life. So the keyboard itself is like a gunmetal black or gunmetal gray. And then my keys light up. So I think his keys should light up too. So then his keys are red.
Nice.
And I didn't
mad at you.
Like I didn't think about it. And that's what it was like what I was referring to earlier about. You don't think about stuff, but you do stuff for a reason. But other people see it because they're not thinking like you. They might recognize things that you might not even recognize about yourself or your own work.
That, in my experience, that phenomenon or whatever can be double-sided in a way, because as a writer, people will look at something you've written and think that body is like a pervert or nasty in the head. Well, it's like outside of your experience or not your everyday experience. So you gotta go and you gotta like ideally do research, trying to figure out. So if you're trying to give like psychological aspects to your character, you gotta hopefully do your research. But then people, if you do it well enough, people think, oh, that's you. That's the actual creator who is doing this stuff. So it's weird. I've had I've done client work, and the client being like give me side is like, I didn't know you that sort of person. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
It has happened. All right. So final question in this series finale retrospective for this project. What's your biggest achievement or what you're proudest about with this project?
I think for me it would have to be going back to the point of stepping outside your comfort zone and seeing how far you could push your skills. You tend to think, oh, I draw this or I can do this. And everything outside of that seems scary. So proving to myself that yes, if need be, you can draw electronics and you can draw mechs. Like I want to have gone to my head, but has given me a little confidence boost in that. Like I would always say I draw very soft, organic shapes. I'm not really a cityscape person. I'm not a robotics kind of person. Thinking in geometric shapes it just made me go like but but I've been getting through it and using references and stuff. And it also proved to me how much I've improved in my own skill, because I would try to pad my art CV and say that I'm really good with references and I could like follow along and think, even if it's something I'm not accustomed to drawing, if you want me to draw it and I have a reference, I can get it done for you. And like, you bullshit your way through resumes and stuff in certain areas, you fluff. But this was actually proving to myself that, hell yeah, you're good with references. You could get this done once you have some things to work with. So.
Excellent. Good stuff. What am I proudest about? I think the collaboration. Yeah. I'm proudest about that. Having a pretty good dynamic between us as a team. I think that's great. Hopefully, I haven't been like psychotic overlord.
No, you have not.
Okay, good. We're in two different locations, people, so I don't actually have like any threats on Natalie. So that was 100% honest. Thank you very much. But not like that is for me. That's one of the things I was kind of antsy about. Is like, all right, so you can like gotta manage it. Can you do it? Can you do it in a way which helps people be productive and not the other thing? Yeah. So
no, you didn't micromanage, but you were a good manager.
Cool. So I can put on my resume too.
Yes, you should.
But no, like project management for this, it is people don't really see it, and like you have a lot of creatives who are very comfortable and even like successful just going with the flow. We're trying to structure stuff and plan out stuff and think about contingencies and eventualities and stuff. Yeah, that's a lot of stress. So glad to hear they make a hash of it. Thanks, guys. What about you, Cam? Biggest achievement or proudest moment with this project?
I think I think it is like now he said stepping out of my comfort zone because I've never committed to doing like something this visible and this on this scale. So like what I would have done before is probably I would have colored. I've done portraits of people and colored them and stuff like that. Mostly me and my friend and stuff. And I would have helped out my other group with the project that they were doing, but it was never. I did, as I was telling Natalie before the show started, I helped the dialogue. I did mostly dialogue, and then I did like the storyboard for it, and then like the experts, because I should call myself an expert too, were the ones who did the lines, and then did the inks, and then they came back and they helped with the dialogue, much like what you did in this scenario. But like for me to do the colors, and because like you usually when you do a comic, you credit the people who do the inks, and you credit the people who do the colors. You only I don't know. I never checked the credits that much for most comics. I don't really see storyboards there. It probably is, but I don't see it. You look for who did the colors and who did the inks, and who's the writer. So for me, this was definitely stepping out of my comfort zone and putting my like essentially putting my stamp on something too. Some people like, oh, that's him, and I'd be like, oh, this is him because it's so good, or oh, no, it's him because so my goal now is to make sure it's the first, like, oh, that's him. Sorry. So yes,
All right.
that is my answer.
All right, excellent. So this is it. This is the end.
This is the.
I can say that, Cam. I can say that. I know you guys got a show called "This Is the End."
You can say that. You're not.
I can say it. All right, great, excellent. So this is the end. This is literally the end of the end episode of the Work in Progress live stream. It's been real. It's been fun. I've been entertained. Natalie's expressions, thank you. They're so very mobile. She's been entertained. Cam be entertained. So it's been fun. It's been great. I want to thank each and every one of you who have joined us pretty much every 2 weeks, weekly, on Saturdays for this show. Thank you very much for lending us your support, lending us your energy, coming in with some interesting comments and questions about the process. That was the point of doing these live streams, kind of like pulling back the curtain on what it takes to create a comic, as well as the perspective of us here in the Caribbean doing something like that. So thank you for that. Thank you to our supporters on Ko-Fi for, literally putting their money where their mouths are. Yeah. For lending us support, for any of you who want to jump in at this point, you've still got like 11 days left between when this is being streamed and the end of the month. We're going to be closing the crowdfunder on Ko-Fi at that point. Why, you might ask? Because the way we kind of structured it, we wanted to have kind of like really like micro amounts, small amounts to get more people, make it easier for them to support the campaign. But the goal was you'll be spending just under the retail price for the book. So you're doing a little bit over a longer period to get the goal. So that's the idea. Running it longer means that logic wouldn't really work anymore. So yeah, but we are looking to do a crowdfunding campaign probably on Indiegogo in about 5 weeks. So you can check out more for that. What else? What else do I have to say? So for Alluhwi Comics on our YouTube, we'll be looking to do more of these. I deal with other projects, other creators, and keeping this kind of energy going and showing persons who are not in the comics, what the process is like in terms of creating it and who the creators are. We definitely plan to do more things like that. So please subscribe to us on YouTube. That's Alluhwi Comics on YouTube. Definitely throw a like in this video. The algorithm likes the taste of likes, so feed it well. You can also like us on Instagram, Alluhwi Comics at Alluhwi Comics on Instagram. For Natalie, it's at njclaws. That's your main, right, Natalie?
Mhm.
And you've also got one njclaw at njclaws.illustrations. So for more of the comic, whimsical type stuff that Natalie's so very good at. You can also follow Cam on Instagram at Art of Jin, and that's JIIN. So ARTOFJIIN. Art of Jin on Instagram. So yeah. Final things. We will be looking for some beta readers for C.H.A.R Against Humanity #1. So if you want to get like a super advanced look before anybody else, before it's available through like crowdfunders or in stores or whatever, and you want to do that, drop DM us on Instagram and let us know. That would definitely be cool. Really, for that, just read it and tell us honestly what you think about it, about the book. You can do that. That's definitely appreciated, and you will get in exchange a copy of the book to read for sure. More cool stuff coming to Alluhwi Comics. So keep an eye out next weekish or end of the month for some other announcements for some of the cool things we're doing at Alluhwi Comics. Alluhwi Comics is the first mobile platform for authentic Caribbean comics. So if that is your speed, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for comics that are a little different, you can definitely check us out at Alluhwi Comics. Plugging aside, we're done. Thanks again to all of you. Thanks to Natalie. Thanks to Cam for being a part of this journey. Thanks to C.H.A.R IRL. She's not been on the stream. I think most Saturdays we've been doing this, she's been working. So she hasn't been available, but she's definitely been a part of the process throughout. So thanks to C.H.A.R for that. And that's it for this final episode of this season. C.H.A.R is supposed to be 3 issues long, so we've got 2 more to do. So we'll definitely be doing this again soon. We'll let you know when. And for now, be safe out there, and we will see you soon. Peace.
Hi guys.